What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
Mellow.
Ambrado Sports Podcast. We talk your favorite sports debates, sports highlights, and check out the sports matchups of the week. Mello, what's going on, man?
Man, not much, man. Just getting, we already talked about how October is. Obviously, it just ended. Baseball just got a new world champion, Atlanta Braves.
Right, brand new champ.
Got it done in six. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. It was definitely a good series too. I watched a little bit of it. We got NFL halfway through. Definitely got to see what's up with that. And NBA a few weeks in. Some teams, just doing their thing. Some surprises, some upsets. It's a lot going on right now. So I just been watching sports, man. What about you? What you been up to?
Oh yeah. Same thing. Definitely been watching everything that's been going on. Obviously started NBA season, like you said, and NFL's right now is in the middle of it, and that's what we here to talk about this week for sure. We're right in the middle of the NFL. Week 8 just finished up. Week
Oh
9 is
yeah.
about to start up. So this is like around the time where you starting to see some top teams like really emerge. You start to see
Mm-hmm.
like who's really going to be pushing for that number one seed, and also who's going to look for that number one draft pick at the end of the season. Um, so we definitely going to talk about some of those things today, and we're going to go through like the matchups of last week, right?
Of course, you know how we do it, man. Recaps of the games we predicted last week. Obviously, prime time and top games of the week. A couple subjects, a couple questions we go through. Love picking up hot topics that's circulating through the media throughout that week. And then next week's predictions. You know how it is. We love to do that same format. It's always good to go with. Want to just get right into it?
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
All right. So obviously, we gotta start off with hell of a game Thursday night. Packers versus Cardinals.
Great
Uh,
game.
it was really close. It ended up being 24-21. Packers won. Pretty much game saving interception. About 12 seconds left. Kyle Murray threw it, so obviously Arizona lost like that. But a lot of people thought he was about to march down that field. They were pretty much in field goal range, so it looks, obviously they would still have a little bit more time. So he tried to make a good throw. Receiver didn't even see it coming. He pretty much got picked off. I don't know, man. It was weird because I felt like Cardinals were just such a better team, but Aaron just seems to do enough when he needs to do it to get his team in positions to win. And he's just been doing that all season, man. It's a little wild. They definitely stepped up on play calling. Cobb stepped up in the absence of some star receivers and got
Mhm.
pretty much 2 touchdowns off of just 3 receptions and 15 yards. Pretty
Yep.
much just came in clutch when he needed to in the red zone. And that was a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, that was a difference maker. Obviously, the pick, sealed the game, but having a playmaker like that in the red zone and obviously a playmaker at quarterback with Aaron, they was able to capitalize when they needed to pretty much seal the deal. So that was a real tough game. It was a clash, a close game. Obviously, a lot of people wanted to see that game. They're two top teams. Aaron's having a hell of a year after losing the first game. Now he haven't lost yet. Cardinals lost the first game. So that was definitely a great way to start off the week, man. What you thought about that one?
Yeah. Like you said, they came in undefeated. The Cardinals did, and a lot of people thought that they were going to be the favorite. I mean, honestly, when we predicted this game last week, I had this one going to the Packers, and I had it in a pretty
Yeah.
decent low scoring game because I thought what was going to happen actually happened in the game. Aaron Jones was running it all over the Cardinals. He had 120 yards rushing that whole game, so he
So
was
they
definitely.
had no Watt, a
Yep.
defensive
Yes.
linebacker, and a safety go out in the first half. So like that defense is falling apart right now.
They really are. They're not getting no push against the offensive line there. Rodgers, he was getting plenty of time in the backfield. Even though Packers were losing both of their two other best wide receivers. Lazard wasn't there, and neither was
Adam,
obviously Devontae.
Adam.
Uh, yeah. anyways, the both of them were out. I always forget his name because he's so similar to
Yeah,
Devontae
I
Smith from
know.
Philly.
I know the names. I know.
Uh,
I'd be killing me with these receivers.
Devontae Adams, anyways, Devontae Adams. Um, but anyways, both of them were missing, so it's
Right.
tough. Like for him to really like push the ball down the field is tough. That's why a lot of their wide receivers didn't get that many catches. It was a low passing game. I mean, he only had around like 28 throws the whole game, so it was a lot more running and a lot more defensive play. Kyler Murray, like you said, he had a chance at the end of the game, but it looked like him and the receiver weren't on the same page. The receiver looked like
At
he
all.
turned a different way than the way Kyler Murray threw.
Throw on
So
his back.
it was definitely like weird play. Like that probably shouldn't have happened. It was just one of those weird fluky plays. But honestly, what I did see is that Kyler Murray was running around like usually we saw him being very protected in that pocket all season. They never had a problem with him getting sacked, but this game he was running around a lot more. He needed a lot more protection. There was guys getting open. Um, so it was tough for him to stay in that pocket and actually make some moves. I really thought that they definitely had a chance to win the Cardinals, but overall, like I thought the Packers played a overall complete game, defensive
Yeah.
and running game with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't play his best game, but he played a good enough game that he had him win. He had like he didn't have over 300 yards or anything, so it's not his usual game, but he did what he needed to do to win the game. So it was a great game for the Packers overall.
But that's pretty much what they've been doing all year, relying on that defense and the offense to make plays when they need to make plays, and that's just pretty much it's weird how they've been doing it. They came out flat the first game and pretty much been killing the Suns. Not
That
looking
running back
great doing it, but they've been doing it, and that's the weird
running
part. So,
back's been that they've been getting a lot of help from running back. Aaron Jones, but he's been
mm,
doing it for him. Honestly, he's the best. I said this in the beginning of the year. This is like the best running back that Aaron Rodgers ever had. So this is definitely a huge
yeah,
plus.
that's a fact. But hell of a game to start off Thursday night.
That's
Obviously, just kicked off the week with a very close matchup. Last undefeated team getting knocked off. A lot of people wanted to see that. I'll be honest. I wanted the Cardinals to stay undefeated. I picked them obviously. So,
I didn't.
great
I
way.
mean, I'm a Rams
I
fan.
know.
I want.
I'll be
I need.
honest. You've been
I need
picking
that
pretty
loss.
good with the upsets. You've been definitely picking good with the upsets. I see you this year. I definitely
Yeah,
see you.
yeah.
I try to go with what I see and what just what it's supposed to be.
I
Um,
try to. I mean, some of these games are tough because they're like usually like 3 point
yeah,
games are tough. You see, like they
yeah.
can go to the last possession, so you never really know it can go down. Anyone can win in the last possession, but I just knew that this one was gonna be a lot low scoring because Cardinals usually are scoring like 35 points a game, easy on
hmm
everybody, and it just seemed like the way that the Packers are playing, they were gonna slow them down.
I definitely hear you. But all these games lately have been tough. Our Sunday night primetime game was pretty much Cowboys versus Vikings. Close game, tough
Close game,
game.
close game.
2016 win by the Cowboys. That probably was what should have happened. But the issue is they had no Dak.
I was
And
gonna say that Dak wasn't playing.
The fact that
I
the
don't know.
Vikings only put up 16 points and allowed that offense, and it's like, oh well, they got Zeke. Zeke's out there eating. Nah, your boy Rush leaned on Cooper, leaned on Lamb. Cooper had 122. Lamb had 112. They pretty much they threw all over the Vikings secondary, and you pretty much let the backup come in at home and do that to y'all after a bye week. Come on, man. What are the Vikings right now? Like what are they doing? They got
They
weapons
got
on offense. Kirk Cousins is just not clicking, man. They were horrible on third downs. I think my man had like 35 attempts just to barely not even get 200 yards. Like, what are they doing? They seem to be trying to go for screens and little 1, 2, 3 yarders, and it's just like it's not that offensive scheme, that offensive game. I don't know what they're doing, but that offense looks trash. I'm just not impressed. I mean, they got a great running back, they got a good quarterback, decent, and they got good receivers. So they should be doing a lot more, but I feel like that play call is just not it. Whatever they're doing on offense is just not getting the sticks moving. and it's not looking too good right now for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's great analysis right there for sure. I definitely agree with a lot of those points right there you said. I'm gonna just say that I don't think Kirk Cousins has been playing very well all season. He's been playing like low average. Uh, Honestly, if you look at him, he's more like a game manager right now. He's got two great receivers. He's got Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, who you think are two guys that can obviously beat guys down the field, and they're faster guys on the field. So you should think that he should be throwing more than 300 yards. So I don't know what's going on there with him. But one guy that has been playing good for them is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook did play good this game. You know,
killing it.
He got his yards. He got over 120 yards of scrimmage during that Cowboys game. But like you said, man, is that Cowboys offense. If it's not one guy, it's another. Like, you know, they got so many weapons on that offense. You know, even with a guy like Cooper Kupp throwing or Cooper Rush throwing it. So many Coopers in this league. You know, it's hard to put up. You got Mari Cooper, you got Cooper Rush, you got Cooper Kupp, you got. But anyways,
I know the names are killing me.
Right. Cooper Rush, the Cowboys' backup quarterback. He actually played really good. You know, obviously they have those weapons, but he was able to deliver those passes really well. A lot of great spirals. They were on point. Like you said, that Vikings secondary is not that great this year. They're in the lower 20s for their passing defense. They're I think 26th or 27th. That's really terrible, obviously. So that's one thing that they can't really fix right now. If they haven't fixed it by now, then that's where they're going to be. A lot of teams are going to be passing it on them. And as you see, that's what the Cowboys did. They had two guys over 120 yards, so they definitely did that on them. And that's what worked. If it was a guy like Dak, I think that Dak probably could have had like 400, 450 yards passing on him. That's how bad. Yeah, that's how bad it is. Yeah, I honestly think it could have been like a blowout if Dak was out there. Luckily, he wasn't out there, and it was a closer game. But something's up with the Vikings, man. It's Kirk Cousins, I think. He just can't figure it out with all these weapons he's got. I mean, he needs to figure it out. Seriously. He's wasting the talent of, Justin Jefferson.
That seems to be the common theme around the NFL lately. Mediocre quarterbacks wasting a lot of star talent around them.
We're definitely going to talk about some of those soon, too. There's definitely a few of them out there that are doing that.
What is up with this year? They just giving all these quarterbacks everything they need.
Yep.
Running backs, receivers, linemen, and
they don't utilize it. They don't utilize it. Playing check down offense.
Vikings don't have no identity, and at this point, I don't think whatever they're doing on offense is the answer. So, definitely disappointing, but a great win by the Cowboys, so you got to give it up for them. Great way to end Sunday after a good week of games. Pretty much did their thing.
They were the underdog too, so they were supposed to lose. Or they were supposed to lose. A lot of people had them losing.
The Vikings home. Yeah, without Dak. I felt like if you can lean on Zeke, then you should be all right. But
definitely a big win for them to keep up with
Rush. And my boy Rush said, "I'm gonna lean on Cooper, and I'm gonna lean on Lamb." And they just went ham.
Yeah, Lamb had this nice catch. I don't know if you saw that. He had this one nice catch, like next to the sidelines. It was like a one-handed catch, not like Odell's, but like different one-handed.
Right. Yeah. They definitely did. So we had the third prime time. Yeah, definitely did. So we had the third primetime game, pretty much Chiefs versus Giants. Not supposed to be a great game, but it was a we need to win type of game for the Chiefs. And obviously, let's see what the Giants got to offer. Crazy thing is it was a 2017 win by the Chiefs. How they barely won that one. Jesus. And the worst part is Hill looked amazing. Mahomes, once again, looked absolutely just trash. He had 29 for 45 for 275, 1-1, a touchdown and a pick. That's not good at all. Once again, increases total of league-leading turnovers by one. Still up there on the offense is supposed to be prolific. Pretty much just turning over the ball, can barely score, and you already got the worst defense of the league. They barely squeezed by the Giants. Daniel basically had the same type of game Mahomes had with 22 for 32, 222, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Obviously, like I said, if Hill didn't have 12 for 94 and a touchdown, Mahomes probably would have lost that game.
Mm, yep.
Simple as that. If Hill don't have the game he had, Mahomes would have lost. And at
Right.
this point, I don't understand what that offense is doing. And there's so many teams right now. They're just like, what are y'all doing? Just get it together and get some sort of identity going. I understand injuries happen, but at this point, Mahomes is supposed to be that bread and butter anyways. He's supposed to be the one you lean on. And at this point, he's playing mediocre football for someone who's MVP candidate and a Super Bowl contender, for years, the last few years. And a
Yeah, I
winner.
mean, they definitely missing a lot of pieces right now everywhere. Even though they won the game, like you said, it was a close game. That's not something you want to see from the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Chiefs that we know. Playing against the Giants, who are pretty demoralized this year. They're not really going anywhere. The Giants, they know that, and I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones is playing. He's playing decent, but he's playing like a lower tier quarterback too. The Giants aren't sure of him either. They think that he's going to be the guy, but they're still checking him out to see if he is going to be that guy. I mean, as far as the Chiefs, one thing I didn't see from them at this game at all was a running game. They didn't run the ball like literally at all. If you look at passing and running, it was 45-10. So they needed to run the ball more. They needed to give Damian Williams the ball a little bit more. They just didn't do that much, and obviously that's probably one of the reasons that the Giants were able to get back in the game is because they just kept on trying to pass the ball. I get that they were trying to get Mahomes like some more passing touchdowns. They wanted to get him in rhythm. It's obvious something's wrong with his shoulder still. He's not 100% perfect because if you notice on that interception, he threw it like a little bit too high and went like over the receiver's head almost. It was like on the side of the
He
receiver's head.
also threw another one, though, that got called back by a penalty.
It got called back. That's right, that one too. But that one was I would say that one was more like a penalty that happened in the beginning. So he kind of got flustered. That's why it got called back. Um, but I mean the first one was bad. Like the one that actually got caught was a bad one. Like it didn't look like a Mahomes pass. You used to Mahomes like throwing like no look passes, throwing them like around the shoulder, sideways, throwing those far passes, but he's just not looking the same right now. Their defense is not looking the same. And honestly, we might have to have a conversation about if Mahomes, after he got paid that $300 million contract or whatever it was, $400 million, 10 years, if they're ever going to win a Super Bowl with that amount of money tied to a quarterback. I mean, we saw like obviously Tom Brady's been taking pay cuts like his whole career pretty much to keep the team, steady. But as a guy like Mahomes is going to have to give some money back, to Kansas City. I don't think so. I think quarterbacks should get whatever they deserve, but maybe one day we'll have that conversation because right now, at least right now at this point in the season, they're not looking like the championship selves.
At all. They're looking way less than the championship selves. They just got that win to break even in the season.
Exactly.
Like, nah, not even close.
Mm-hmm.
But now they set a high bar for themselves, and now they're falling well short, and they're getting frustrated, man. And we might just have to have the conversation on what's happening with them and what the rest of the season looks like for them. But at this point, is the playoffs even about to happen?
It could be the odd man out in that division. You got the Raiders doing good in that division. You still got the Chargers that are, up and down doing decent, but they might be the odd man out. Who knows?
Exactly.
They're tied with Broncos right now, and they're, at the bottom. They're 4-4 at the bottom with the Broncos.
Right.
Like that's not who the Chiefs are.
Not at all. Not at all. But no, I'm definitely worried about them. Pretty much you got good teams playing good teams playing bad teams playing good, bad teams playing bad. Whole type of mix. Had a couple other games throughout the week that we definitely wanted to talk about. Next one up was Steelers versus Browns. Steelers have no identity. Browns have no quarterback. What else can you say? 15-10 win by the Steelers. Baker Mayfield actually came back. They had Chubbs. They had Landry. They had OBJ. Ben had 22 for 34 for 266. Most of it was in the second half. The Browns defense definitely held them down a little bit the first half. But like I said, they have no quarterback on the Browns side. 20 for 31 with 225. With all the weapons over there, they basically only scored one touchdown. It was pretty much at this point, it's just disgusting to see. So many weapons. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what type of. They just try to lean on the run, but the Steelers rely on their defense. So the Steelers defense really just been holding some teams down. Clearly, only 10 points for an offense that should have a lot more points than that with that many amount of superstars. But I'm not impressed by the Steelers either. They don't know what the hell they're doing on offense, and they can't keep relying on their defense to get them through. So that was it's a weird game because it was a knee-win game for both of them. It was tough to see the game being played, but it just one team had to want it more. And obviously, the Steelers D played just a little better. Obviously, the Browns D still play, but at the end of the day, when you have that many weapons on offense, the Browns have to perform a little better on offense and just be able to put more points on the board. And that's what it comes down to. So 15-10 loss can't happen. Don't know what's going on. Too many superstars on that team, but they're looking trash.
Yeah, I was watching this game pretty closely as well, and I mean, like you definitely brought up a lot of great points there. And for me, I was watching honestly like two different versions of the teams. There's one team, Steelers. You got a quarterback that doesn't want to push the ball down the field at all, or can't push the ball down past 15 yards. When he does, he just winces. His shoulder hurts, his heart, something. Somebody poked him in the heart.
I mean, it's fucking 100 years old or something.
He's a guy that passes it 5 to 10 yards. We know this. He can't push the ball down the field. Then on the other side, you got a guy that has so many weapons that he doesn't know what to do with it, or he just doesn't throw it to anyone. Just doesn't make sense. Obviously, like you said, Baker is not playing great at all. Like terrible stats.
Mm-hmm.
For them to not be able to score more points on the Steelers team, that honestly, if you look the past few weeks, they haven't been playing great. They've been getting some well. So you would think that they should win a game like this. A lot of people had Cleveland winning this game.
Oh yeah,
why didn't win it? I have no idea. But as far as the Steelers, their running game was a little bit better than actually the Cleveland Browns was. Cleveland Browns running game wasn't even that great, even though they got Chubb back. They still were using Williams. I'm sorry, Damian Johnson. Damian Johnson still. And he actually had a few good runs. He was like 8 for 50, 8 for 56. He was. So he had some good runs too. But other than that, like it's honestly on Baker that they're not winning this game. Obviously, at the end, they were down like 4th and 14, and they had to obviously get a first down. And Baker just didn't even attempt to push it down the field. He threw it like a 7-yard pass. So even then, like how you don't even give yourself a chance to try to win a game, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on there. Right now, we're getting new reports that Beckham is not even coming back to the team now. So I don't even know what's going on with the Browns. For them to lose this game and the way it's looking in their division, I think this game took them out of the playoffs just now. Like you pretty much just saw them get taken out of the playoffs right there, just because.
I was gonna say for like 5 receivers to have more than one catch and OBJ to only have one, that's ridiculous. How you target basically every other receiver that stepped on that field more than Odell Beckham? I know there's a whole big thing about him getting his receptions, but at the end of the day, you can't have superstars like that on your side of the ball and not find a way. Not just him, the coach as well. At the end of the day, as a quarterback, you have to be able to find them. But you can't have that many weapons on that side of the ball and just not be able to use them, not be able to find them, not be able to get them the ball.
No, you're totally right. But I think Beckham is definitely mad because he actually posted this video of Baker Mayfield missing him like so many times. OBJ was open, and he just posted
his dad posted it.
Yeah, that's true. But he retweeted it, So obviously,
and then a couple of Browns players liked it.
Yeah, they did. So everybody knows. Everyone knows that they're not playing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
We've been talking about this pretty much all season. Their beef, like what's going to happen. Like I said, I thought that OBJ should have gotten traded weeks ago. It hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to happen this year. So
I don't think it will. No,
yeah, I think
they
the
can't.
trade
They
deadline
can't
is
just
over.
give up right now.
Right. But
Yeah.
I think this was it for them. As far as Pittsburgh, I mean, it's a quality win for them. Do I think that they're going to do anything this season? Not really. They don't look consistent on offense. They definitely don't look consistent on offense. Their defense looks decent. Playing against the Browns, it looked okay. I mean,
Right.
definitely, their secondary definitely played good. Other than that, I don't see much from the Steelers. I don't see like much consistency from Ben. I don't trust Ben Roethlisberger to win you games, especially if they're down by 14 points. I don't see him coming back on teams.
Nah, definitely not. He definitely can't go out there and shoot it out like he used to. At this point, he's barely a game manager, not even. Like he's
Right,
just a ball mover. Like that's
right,
about it. And they have no identity, and they have no idea what they're doing. So
exactly.
yeah. So that was a tough game to watch, but it was more about we have to see what the Browns have to give us, and they keep disappointing us, just like the Chiefs. But at least the Chiefs won that game.
You're right.
Yeah. But
Good
the
game.
next game, definitely a good game to watch because you got to see what these teams have to offer, how they come back from adversary, pretty much see if it's crunch time. Can they pull out these close games and close wins? And some of these are crucial playoff games. Basically, we're not playoff games, but games that might affect their standing to get to the playoffs. So they definitely have to learn how to close out games like this. But
Baker's not the type to close out games. I haven't seen him do it. Not the last
not
3 years. I just haven't seen him
not
do
at
it.
all. He just not showing what he needs to show.
He folds in the
Yeah,
moment. Yeah.
no, definitely did. Um, but pretty much another team that just lost their star player, but still somehow found a way to close out a good game. Well, actually, no, because the Colts won.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
So, good one.
I was say so. The Titans versus Colts. That's what I'm talking about. And I
Okay.
almost was about to say the opposite. But close game went into overtime. Pretty much, Henry went out. Tannehill and Wentz both played average games, but it all came down to basically Kevin Byard, the safety, who got a penalty to allow Wentz to tie the game up, to
Yeah,
go into
that was.
overtime, and then take the ball to close the game in overtime. So definitely clear as day, one play, one player, two plays, definition of he affected the game.
Lost the game for you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't say that one player affected the whole game, but this one you kind of
It
saw it.
really
Like,
can.
this one
He
really.
in a bad way and in a good way. He gave the Colts a chance to tie it
Mhm,
up, and then he went into overtime and closed it out. He
mhm.
closed it out for the Titans. So
Right.
basically, it was rough. Rough to watch. The Colts, they're not looking too good. Wentz is protecting the ball, but they're not taking risk, and that's an issue. Obviously, it's a throwing league. You got to be able to go out there and just throw it out. And then obviously, Tannehill is just average. AJ Brown looking pretty good, 155 off the 10 receptions. But without Henry, if teams can lock down on AJ without having to load up that box, it's not looking too good for the Titans. And at this point, they're supposed to be the best team in the AFC right now. Obviously, they just lost their best player, so what's the rest of the season going to look like for them, man? What about you? What you thought about that game?
I mean, yeah, like they definitely didn't have Julio Jones at 100% either, so that's definitely another problem for them. I mean, he hasn't been 100% all year, really. You
Mm-hmm.
see him on and off, like playing one game, taking off one game. Um, but yeah, honestly, having Derrick Henry, I mean, we just heard what happened to him. He's going to be out for the season. He's on IR. It's going to be an MCL there, so that they're doing surgery on. So he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they make the Super Bowl, then I doubt he's going to come back. And even if, there's going to be a if, like a very small like if he
Not
comes back.
even 'cause at this point,
At this point,
they barely won the game with him coming out.
Exactly.
And if they get to any playoff contention, they're gonna have to ride him like a fucking horse to get to any Super Bowl. Without
Exactly.
him, they don't make it to the Super Bowl. And I think he gets injured again before the Super Bowl if they do that to him in the playoffs. So it's just not looking good for them
Yeah, I don't see that happening either, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want them to do
at
that to him.
all. That is,
They
man,
would
don't
ride
do
him
that to
all
him.
season. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they've been utilizing all season because they know that Tannehill's not really the guy to even like we said. This is one of the themes today. You know, it's like mediocre quarterbacks not utilizing the talent that they got around them. Like
Mm-hmm.
Tannehill, he's got guys out there too. AJ Green, I mean, or AJ Brown. He's an amazing receiver, probably number one receiver right now in football, other than Cooper Kupp and the Rams. I think
Mm-hmm.
that AJ Brown's definitely playing amazing. Like you said, he had over 150 yards this game. Um, even like to the tight ends they got there too because they played a two tight end set. You know, they definitely get a lot of yards there. But as far as Tannehill being able to move the ball on third downs, he's not good at that. Like when it's a third and long, he's never able to do good against the blitz pressure. He always folds against that. That's why you need a guy like Henry to be able to do those play action passes. But now without him, it's going to be a lot tougher for them.
Mm-hmm.
On the Colts side,
No
I
fear.
thought I definitely thought that Carson Wentz played better than he's played like the first half of the season. He definitely had some good passes that I saw from him, especially in the fourth quarter. He definitely had a few good passes that they needed. You know, they needed
Right.
two touchdowns to come back from, and they did, and that was definitely good to see from him. But as far as the Colts, other than Jonathan Taylor, the running back, who's been playing amazing all season, I think he's got the second most yards overall in the NFL right now, other than Derrick Henry. They really got nobody else. They got Pascal, who was out. T.Y. Hilton's out again. He just got re-injured, and I doubt he's going to be coming back. So the Colts are pretty
Mm-hmm.
much estimated all over. It's going to be tough for them to really figure out where they could find help on offense. I don't see really them making the playoffs either. In that division, that division is probably going to come because now it's a three game lead with the Titans. You know, Titans are winning by three, yeah, 6-2 to 3-3, yeah. So they got a 3 game lead right now, and I don't see the Colts coming back from
They're
that.
about to lose the next three.
They could, they easily could, but do I see the Colts winning the next three? Probably
No.
not. Right. So I just see at this point. I mean, with a three game lead, that's the biggest lead in any division right now. 3 game lead. So that's a pretty big, significant lead to win your division.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But either way, troubling for both teams moving forward, I guess you could say. So
I think
I
so
guess
too.
we got to see what happens.
I think so too. I just think that they could get by the regular season without Derrick Henry. They can get by.
I mean, they already got a 6-2 start, so
They're not going to play as good as that. They're
right,
probably
right.
next 8 games are. I mean, there's 9 games left for them, so next
That
9 games I
would
could probably see them going 4-5. So they could
and
end up
then
10-7.
that's still making the playoffs.
Right. That's what I could see them being. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last game we got to recap last week was honestly a surprise, and upset some would say. Patriots versus Chargers. Pretty much 27-24 Chargers lost. Uh, don't even know what to say. They've been electric all year. Both teams relied on the rush. Pretty much Harris for the Patriots had 80 yards. Jackson and Eckler both had 79 and 64, so they really did their thing. Um, Matt kind of struggled throughout the game, only pretty much did average, but the difference maker was Herbert throwing 2 picks to the same motherfucker, and one of them being a pick six. So Adrian Phillips, who played his first 6 years for the Chargers,
Yep.
finally got a chance to come back home. Got a pick and a pick six, basically. That one touchdown, another game this week where one player made a clear difference to win the game. And love that both of them were on defense. So 27-24 win, clearly win by 3. That pick six is a difference maker, and not to mention another pick. So Herbert pretty much threw 18 for 35. Not a good basically not a good throwing game. 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, pretty much. Like, what are you doing out there?
Yeah.
What was once an electric offense for the Chargers seems to become stagnant. Loss of the Patriots was definitely an upset, and it's weird because they had a decent rushing game, but it seemed like they couldn't get anything going on the secondary. And Herbert, for the first time, it seemed like kind of looked flustered all game. They really kept hitting that pocket all game, making him move his feet and move his eyes, and he did not look comfortable for a while. I felt like it was probably the first or second time all season.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on a lot of points there. Herbert definitely didn't have like his greatest performance, even an average performance. It was a little bit below average. You can't have turnovers like that. They also let go of another turnover by a fumble. Justin Jackson had a fumble that was forced on him, and that was another turnover that they lost. So one thing about it is the Patriots defense played great, and honestly, this whole year they've been playing really well.
Yeah, people
Surprisingly
have been
well.
sleeping on him.
They've been playing good because obviously Mac Jones hasn't been playing the best, and their defense has to stay on the field longer. But when they are on the field, they're playing pretty good, pretty good. And
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for that defense, they probably have like a 0-7 record right now, to be honest, because Mac Jones is not playing great. He's
No, he's got
average.
so much to learn, and
They
he's
have
good for a rookie, but that's it, and not
yeah,
even good for a good rookie. Good for a rookie that's playing this year.
right, right. I mean, he's definitely a game manager as well, and they don't have the weapons yet for him. They got more of a running game, so they're focusing on the run, like you said. Um, Damian Harris played well. So they're definitely focusing on that, but I was definitely surprised. I thought the Chargers came out stale. I thought that they were gonna come out stronger. It looked like they were pushing the ball down the field in the first, like literally the first quarter when they first got the ball, but they after they passed the 50-yard line, they just went out like 3 times. I think they ran it and they couldn't push it past 50, so they had to punt it right there. So that was a problem. They didn't start out fast. That's one thing they need to work on. They got a lot of weapons on offense. They got Keenan Allen. I mean, they got
Mm-hmm.
great weapons. Mike Williams. Like you said, they're both of their running backs there. Justin Jackson, Austin Eckler. Obviously, they got the defense as well. Everyone knows about Joey Bosa, but everybody else too. Derwin James is out there, so they got a decent defense. It's just that they're not pushing everything together. Like right now, they're not
No,
really playing cohesive. They're not playing consistent. The first 5 weeks of the season, they were scoring over 35. They were playing very consistent, but now the last few games, they haven't been. So I'm a little worried about them for sure.
yeah, they definitely got some things to figure out. Obviously, they got good role players on both sides of the ball. So as long as they can keep some play call up, they should still be competitive. But they're definitely looking a lot less hot than they were at the beginning of the season. And a few times he's shown where he can pretty much um, go past a tough defense and come back from a tough defense, especially being under pressure and being flustered. He basically fell apart this week against the Patriots defense.
True.
So
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like I definitely thought that like they were gonna cool off a little bit from the hot start that they had, but I mean they're looking at the winnable games that they had in the schedule. Like this one, I was definitely surprised. I really thought that they were gonna win this game. It was a winnable game for
mhm.
them, and I'm definitely just a little bit surprised about Justin that he couldn't even, couldn't push the ball down the field more. That's what it looked like.
Definitely was. And that's pretty much the 6 or 5 games that we predicted last week. Hell of a week. Obviously, pretty much like we said, a lot of upsets, a lot of uh, quarterbacks not playing good, a lot of rookie quarterbacks playing decent. Just a lot going on.
Yeah.
But brings us to our question segment of the podcast. Pretty much just throw out some hot topics of the week. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the first one, bro.
All right.
Um,
Hear it.
Packers smoking
Mm-hmm.
hot right now.
Looking
Seven
good.
and one is Aaron having an MVP season. What do you think?
Ooh. So yeah, I mean, Packers are playing amazing. Obviously, the
Mm-hmm.
first game of the season they lost, and people started going crazy. You know, they were like, "Should we already put Jordan Love in?" You know, yes, he.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of knew like what Aaron was saying. Everybody needed to relax. You know, I mean, looking at him the first like 5, 6 games of the season, he played amazing. He played at an MVP level. To be honest, though, the last 2 games they haven't looked as amazing. He's played average the last few games. He had interceptions in both games. He didn't throw over 300 yards the last 2 games. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones played a lot better the last 2 games than, and that's what he really needed. Aaron Rodgers needed Aaron Jones to play good in those games for them to win. So, uh, honestly, for that reason, I don't think at this moment he's my MVP. Right now, my MVPs, to be honest, are I got. I'll give you my top four, I think, because I mean, I kind of want to even put like Derrick Henry up there. I know he's never going to be an MVP anymore because he's injured now, but just the season he's had so far, you had to put
He
him like
was, yeah.
or somewhere. But honestly, I think number one might be my man Matthew Stafford. He's playing amazing. He's throwing the
Mm-hmm.
ball amazing. He's got over 2,000 yards passing already. He's got over 17 touchdowns, I think. Only like 4 interceptions. He's playing great. Number two, I'd probably have Tom Brady. Number three, I would. That's where I would probably put Aaron Rodgers at number three, and number four would be my Derrick Henry pick right there. Even though he's not gonna play the rest of the season, but this is just right now.
So no Kyler Murray in your top four?
Kyler Murray was there. Kyler Murray was there. He's top five. He's number five. I think obviously he's going to move up to number four since Derrick Henry's not even playing. But right now, I think that Stafford and Brady have Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers beat. I think both of them are playing just slightly better if you look at their stats.
And you think Tom Brady's also having a better year than Josh Allen?
Oof, I forgot about Allen. Oh my God, can't believe I
Mm-hmm.
forgot about Allen. Oof,
He's got to
you know.
be in the top five.
All right, I gotta move Derrick Henry out of there. Sorry, Derrick. Josh is
He
going.
should be. My man injured. Get him out of there.
I want to give him some love because he's not gonna get
I
it at the
hear
end of the
you,
year.
yo. He would have definitely been in there, bro. I definitely hear you, man.
No,
Definitely
I
hear
got
you.
Josh. You're right. Josh Allen's been playing great, and he's been running the ball as well. Second best runner on his team. But about this question, I think I got Aaron Rodgers third right now in my MVP rankings. What
All
about you?
right, so
Think he's playing MVP right now? MVP level?
um, so let me just go through the stats that I got, and then I'll give you my answer. Obviously, 8 games in, first game came out flat, lost, won 7 straight. Right now he's sitting at 1894 for yardage with 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. Not bad, 105 rated.
Good. That's real good.
At that average, it's not though.
The
It's not.
the
So
QBR though,
here's
it's
my thing.
105.
So the QBR isn't bad, but at that average, he'll end the season with 3,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 6 picks. That's not MVP caliber. He had one game this year over 300 yards, but he's had 3 games under 200 yards.
Yep.
He's not playing good. And just to show you, he won MVP last year. Now, I show you, he had to be 38, 35, and 6 with the averages that he's doing now. Last year, he won the award, 43, 48, and 5.
4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns.
Another 500 yards and another 10 plus touchdowns.
That's crazy.
So he's going to have to shine the
I don't
rest of the
think he
season,
touches
and he's
numbers.
not going to. So for me, the answer is no, and it's not even close. He's his own blueprint because he just won it last year. He's not even close to having the same, and it's crazy because they're 7-1, lost the first game, and now they won 7 straight, just took down the last undefeated team. A lot of people are asking, like, all right, what do we have? But for me, he's just becoming a great, great. Like he's about to be Tom Brady, man. Great, great game manager. Knows how to get the ball when he needs to get it to. He's obviously not going to be accurate, pinpoint throwing in the pocket. Like he's still going to sling out there, but it's crazy. I just don't understand how they're winning so good. But he's doing what he needs to do when he needs to do it, and he comes in clutch in that red zone. But he is nowhere close to having an MVP season.
See, I agree with you for sure about like the stats. When like the stat wise, he's not there. But I feel like MVP is just a little bit more than stats sometimes. And if you looked at like a few of the games this season, there was a few games they were down by a touchdown or down by 3 points. Green Bay was. There was that one game where they were down like it was 47 seconds left. They needed to come back and they needed to score a field goal to win the game. And Aaron Rodgers only had he had no timeouts to do it, and got three crazy throws down the field. Was able to get the offense up there, and they won the game. You know, that's definitely him winning it by himself, pretty much. Obviously not by himself because you got the wide receivers that can catch it, but you know him doing a lot of the work for that offense in quick moments. MVP caliber quarterback can definitely do that. Like somebody that can do it very quick and come back and win it. Obviously, Tom Brady is definitely a good example. He's done that before. Guys like Drew Brees as well, but I think that's definitely another thing into the account with Aaron Rodgers, him being able to come back on a few of those games. Because honestly, looking at this Green Bay team and the way he's been playing, do you think that they should be 7-1 right now?
Not at all.
You know, and I think a lot of it is him.
Yeah, you're right. He's definitely the biggest intangible in football right now. You can't put him down one touchdown in a one drive to go down the field. He's probably the best person you're gonna choose in football right now. But I hear you. But I feel like his stats does play a big part. And if he has a lackluster season, I guess it all depends on that playoff run, man.
Right.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right, depending, but
he's right this season though.
Right at the end.
What is it?
Or you said right at the end?
Well, I think that they do it at the Pro Bowl week, but the MVP is a regular season award. They don't really count the playoff stats after that, you know.
And then, yeah, I don't think he'll win. I think there's a lot more hot quarterbacks, and like I said, the Bills probably have an easy schedule. Josh Allen will provide a way better resume, with a better record. Right now, him and Kyler.
Nice, yeah.
Him and Kyler.
Nice.
Obviously, I would have had Derrick Henry as my third, but Derrick Henry is out. So right now, him, Kyler, and it's crazy because it's usually always a quarterback.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have to go with Stafford. Stafford's definitely top 3 for sure at this point.
Playing amazing too, man. They have to play amazing. And if you want to throw anyone in there for a wide receiver, my man Cooper Kupp's been playing incredible as a wide receiver. First 8 games, he's doing things that only Randy Moss has done in his career. Had 6 games over 100 yards and 7 out of the 8 games over 90 yards. So he's definitely had a good career for a wide receiver, a good year so far. Obviously, wide receivers don't usually get mentioned for those awards either, but good to mention.
No, that's a fact because I would love to throw Jamar Chase in there as well.
Yes.
If wide receivers are actually taken serious. But it's crazy because and he is a rookie. But obviously you definitely gonna root for your Rams. So obviously you're gonna throw your boy in there with Stafford on top of Stafford, so you got 2 people in there. But that's actually one of our topics. One of our other questions for the day. Cooper Kupp obviously having an amazing season. Stafford giving him a lot of receptions. He's getting a lot of yards. Will Cooper Kupp reach a 2,000-yard receiving season? What do you think, bro? And I obviously think I feel like I know what you're gonna say. Cause you just threw out a few stats right there, like, oh yeah, my man know what he throwing out. He know what he about.
I've been thinking about this for a minute. I've been definitely thinking about this because, especially when I saw like his stats last week when he played last week's game and he had over like 130 in last week's game. He was already over 900. And this is in 8 games. This is obviously this year is a little different because they added an extra game, so a lot of records might be broken. You know, a lot of regular season records that have been in the past. They could be broken just because of that extra game.
Right.
I think one of the records that could be broken is the 1996 reception yards that Randy Moss had. I think that could be broken for sure. That's a big one. I think Cooper Kupp, the way he's looking right now, he's had, like I said, 7 out of the 8 games over 90 yards, and 5 out of the 8 of them are over 100 yards. So definitely playing great. Overall, he's playing amazing. He has also the most touchdowns. I think he has like 10 touchdowns so far all season. But as far as the yards, I think he is going to get over 2,000 yards. The way that Matthew Stafford's passing, he's getting over 350 yards easy on people. He's passing the ball to Cooper Kupp at least 10 times a game. He's catching around like 7 to 8 receptions, getting around 12 targets, 10 to 12 targets. So he's definitely getting the numbers. I do think he's going to get that. I think he's going to reach that milestone, 2,000. What do you think? Think he can get it?
So he definitely is putting up the resume this year to put up a great case. 63 receptions, 924 yards, 14.7 average reception per catch, and obviously 10 touchdowns. He's catching at a 70%, pretty much got hands, basically averaging 8 receptions and 115 yards per game.
Yep.
8 receptions, 115 yards per game. That's his average.
A good average.
What's the Rams? Amazing average. So what's the Rams' record?
We're 7-1.
So y'all got 8 games left?
Yep.
Or 9?
9 games.
You had your bye week. 9 games?
9 games left, yeah, because it's a 17-game season now, remember?
All right. So that means he got 1,035 yards to get in 9 games. Now, you put up some good stats. 5 games over 100 yards. One of them was 150. Another one at 130. 2 games where it was just over 90 yards, just under 100. So obviously that 115 average is definitely a GOAT-worthy medium. 64 was his lowest.
Right.
So, even then, it's just not bad. I'm going to have to go no.
Oof. Wow.
And it's going to get so close. I know it. But another 1,000 yards and 9 games left when you got Van Jefferson, Robert Woods, and Tyler Higbee, and you're going to start facing different coverages. It's going to start getting the playoff contention. I think that they are going to slow down just a little bit, but it's not even about them slow down. Even at his average, he won't hit it.
That puts him short,
he
really?
He has to do a little bit better.
Really?
Than 9 games, 1,000 yards. Oh, wait a minute. I got a calculator right here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Or actually, I think 9 games at 115-yard average, I think he could get it. But that's at 115. I don't know if he's going to keep up with that.
That's he basically will have to damn near be exactly what he's doing and just the team to be better. And I don't think he could sustain that for 9 more games. Now, if it was 8 games left, he needed a 920. That would have been a lot more doable.
He needs 10-20.
For him, as weird as it sounds in my head, that 1 more game makes it just a little harder to sustain because he has to basically do 115 plus to even get there. So it's not like he gets an extra game to catch up. He needs to do 115 for that extra game as well. So I think he just now. I won't be surprised if he do, but I think he just falls short.
Oh man, I know he'll be upset if he does. I don't think that they're gonna just miss it because towards the end of the season, like if you're close enough, then the quarterback is gonna push for you to get it. They're gonna push for you to get it. If he's at like 1930 or maybe even like 1900 the last game, I feel like they're gonna push for him to get that last 100, or whatever it could be, even if it's like 150 yards. I think
if he could find a way to jump that scale, and then that average of what he needs slims down a little bit in them last 2 games, I can see it happening. But like I said, he has to pretty much do ball out the next couple games
That's
for
for
me
sure.
to even feel like that's gonna pretty much happen. So for me, it's definitely a no.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, you probably could be right. Could be just very close, but not get it. I just
Right.
think that they might have a few games that they're up on some teams, and he might have a chance to get another 150 on a few teams. That's going to push his average up. And that's what's giving me like confidence in him. Yeah.
I hear you.
Honestly,
I
a guy like Jamar Chase could do the same thing too. I think Jamar Chase,
hear you.
obviously, he didn't have a great game last game, but um, the rest of the season he had an amazing season. So he's another guy that's on pace technically. If he has the same pace right now as he did, he's on pace as well for that 2,000, which is crazy as a rookie.
No, yeah, he's definitely looking a lot better as a rookie. Obviously he's Joe Burrow's favorite target, so definitely doing that thing. Um, but we got one more question. Obviously another hot topic. We talked about lackluster quarterbacks playing with so many weapons, and this brings me to a question I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Um, the Browns.
Hmm.
Can the Browns win with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback? With all the weapons they have right now as it is, and we're talking about OBJ, Landry, Hooper, Njoku, Kareem Hunt, Chubbs, and on defense, basically got great ass line with fucking Garrett and Clowney. Can they win with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback?
So I'm
What
gonna
do you
try
think?
to keep this short and sweet because you know we've been talking like this whole episode definitely about lackluster quarterbacks, and he's one of them. He's one of them. I mean, every year it seems like the Browns
Day
got,
one.
yeah, since day one they had Super Bowl aspirations with him in the helm. I mean, if it's fair or not, he was the number one pick taken. Obviously Cleveland's never had the greatest picks with quarterbacks, but this time they definitely thought that Baker was going to be the one. Um, Obviously one of the shortest quarterbacks in the league right now, so it's not as easy for him to see over the pocket like other guys.
Hmm.
Does he have the talent, the arm talent? I think he does have good arm talent. Does he utilize it all the time? No. And as you can see, he doesn't utilize all his talent around him.
Hmm.
Honestly, how much more can you give him? Like what
No,
more can
literally.
what more can you give him? He's got so
Literally.
much. Three great tight ends, two great receivers, two great running backs. Now they found a third great running back, in Damian Johnson. So
Johnson. Hmm.
like I really don't know how much more he wants. They got great defensive line help. They got decent secondary. Honestly, with everything that they got right now, the one thing I will say about Baker Mayfield is that his offensive play calling does change every year, and it's changed the last 4 years. So he's always having to figure out like a new play calling,
I know play
which he
calling, yeah.
figure it out with them for the first few weeks of the season. So it's always tough for him there. But do I think that they could win a Super Bowl with him? No, especially with what I'm looking at in their division. They still got Lamar Jackson, who's gonna get better,
Mm-hmm.
and you got Joe Burrows, who's gonna get better. Yeah, you got Roethlisberger, who's like old right now, but I still,
Man's already done.
yeah, I still trust that Pittsburgh defense more than Baker Mayfield. As you see, they just beat him, So
Hmm.
I don't trust Baker at all. I don't think they can win with him. What about you? How you feel about him?
Yeah, it's definitely a clear no for me, man. My man is throwing for 1,700 yards, six touchdowns, and three picks. And
Terrible.
what,
That was
6 games, 7 games?
terrible.
Pretty much, he has not even a touchdown a game average, 2 games with two touchdowns, and he has six.
Right. Right.
So that means he has 3 games with zero touchdowns.
Exactly.
Not even close to being a team that can win the Super Bowl with him at the helm. At this point, he's not even a quarterback that can get you to the Super Bowl or can get you to the goddamn playoffs. Like
Yes.
he's literally making that team below average, and they're basically struggling with him at the helm. At this point, they look a little better with Case Keenum. Case Keenum was spreading the ball a lot
Yes.
better.
Yes, he was.
I don't know what happened to him. I knew he wasn't the greatest. A lot of people thought he was about to be Johnny Football 2.0.
I
But
never thought that. Me.
I didn't think
I
he was gonna be Johnny, but I didn't think he was gonna be like this. Like it seemed like he's deteriorating. And it's not even close though. It's a clear cut no for me. Browns need to find a way to move on. But so many teams in this league right now don't want to admit to saying like we fucked up with this quarterback.
That's
We
true.
gotta find someone else. We gave him the money. Oh well. One, I gotta stop putting out all in these weird ass quarterbacks that are missing some basic skill sets that make a quarterback a fucking quarterback. Like it makes no fucking sense.
That's true.
I
I
don't care
mean,
if
one
he's
thing.
mobile and he can run. If he needs to be able to throw
That's true. I
and
mean,
make decisions.
with Baker Mayfield, everyone's known that he's one of the shortest quarterbacks. Everyone tried to when he came into the league, they tried to look at like him and Breeze as similar archetypes, but they're definitely not similar. Obviously, Breeze has a tight spiral. He plays from the pocket. Baker Mayfield is more of a runner. He likes to play outside the pocket, and he
Mm.
does this thing which I always thought was a little weird thing he does. He does his little jump throws. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. He'll like jump
Yeah,
off his leg and then throw it forward like that. It's very awkward in the NFL. It works in college. I've seen a lot of people do it in college, and it might even like fake out a few people when you're jumping one way and then like throwing it forward. But the way that Baker does it just seems, and the way he does it is very on short throws, not on long, deep throws. So it doesn't seem effective. It seems like he's doing it to see over the line, maybe, and that's never good. When you got a quarterback jumping just to see over that offensive line, then it's never a good thing for your offense. I don't think, like you said, I don't think that he's going to get better anytime soon. I think he's regressing, like you said. And one thing I wanted to ask you is, do you think that the Browns are going to move on from him after this year? Like at the end of the year, do you think? Because I think that if they cut him at the end of the year, then they're able to save like one or something like 15 to 20 million next year if they cut him or trade him.
yeah, they're definitely gonna try to ship him. Basically, if he keeps playing like he's playing right now for the rest of the year, they're definitely gonna try to get rid of him, and I don't see no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that, and possibly getting somebody like Garoppolo in there. Yeah, I could see that
Mm-hmm,
happening.
yeah, you did say they were trying to ship Garoppolo. Yeah, yeah.
Ship him, yeah. So I could
That's
definitely
a
like see
fact.
something like that happening. Uh,
Mm.
that was a great question though, and
Yes,
definitely we
sir.
totally both agree on that one. I just don't see
Mm-hmm.
it for Baker, and it's honestly it's not all like 100% on him because obviously he's got a shoulder injury right now. He's had it all year. He's playing with it, but you know either play at your 100% or just don't play at all and let Case Keenum come in and try to take that offense over. Don't come in at 50%. And a few games it
Right.
looked like he came in at 50% and he just wasn't ready.
No,
So
that's a fact because it's 100% ain't 100% right now.
right. That's hurting the team more.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, definitely. But like you said, amazing questions. Think of it right now in the NFL season. So definitely a lot of hot topics. Mostly about
We can
underachieving
revisit this for sure at the
quarterbacks
end
and
of the
underachieving
season.
teams.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna revisit this one at the end of the season to see how they end up, and then from there we'll see where we see Baker fitting in on any other team or where definitely want to talk about
No,
that.
no, for sure. And that pretty much wraps up the questions that we had this week.
All right.
Obviously, we're about to hop into almost a recap predictions of
No
next week's
predictions of
games.
this.
Obviously,
Hmm?
prime time games, and then obviously a couple
You
of some hot games that we want to talk about. So let's just hop right into it. Let them know what we got from.
nice.
First game Thursday night, Jets versus Colts. Weird as it sound,
Yo, bro, do I have to watch this game? Do I really have to?
I was about to say because Wentz hasn't been playing too good, and your
I'm just
boy White came in as a backup for the Jets and lit the Bengals up for
mistake, yo.
400 plus. So it's not clear cut like everyone's going to think. I'll be honest, I'm still giving the Colts a 31-24 win. But it's going to be a tough and gritty game. And it's going to be a game with a lot of mistakes, pretty much. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to. Obviously, Wentz will make less mistakes. But he's just not playing that great. He's looking kind of average. They just blew a 14-point lead and still lost in overtime. And it's just like, nah. And like I said, the Jets just won that game against the Bengals. They feeling themselves. They're feeling hot. Like my man threw all over the Bengals secondary. So at this point, they're gonna try to come out this week and try to do the same. And if the Colts can't keep them from putting their foot on that gas pedal, then they're in trouble. Because I don't know if it's gonna turn out into a shootout. We'll give it to Wentz. But if they try to manage the game, they should be able to get out there with the win, probably by a touchdown. I still think a few touchdowns happen. That's why I gave it a 31-24. More than likely might be lower scoring than that. But I'm Thursday night game, short week. I feel like the defense is going to make a lot of mistakes. So we'll definitely see what they got. But I definitely still got the Colts winning that. What about you? Who you got?
So, one question for you. Did the Jets just find their new quarterback? My man,
Yes.
my man
Your
White.
boy Wilson was trash.
My man White, first quarterback since Vinny Testaverde to throw for 400 yards in a Jets uniform. Oof. I think the Jets with him are definitely a better team than with Zach Wilson. You see, Zach can't throw the ball down the field. This guy definitely can. He's utilizing everybody on the field. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Game's going to be a little tougher for the Jets because I do think that Jonathan Taylor is a really good running back. He's going to be able to run um, all over the Jets, unlike how
Right, that's the difference right
Joe
there.
Mixon wasn't able to do that with the Bengals. And I definitely think that the Colts are going to utilize that more. They're going to see the Jets defense is actually okay. You know, they got a nice defensive line. Obviously they're young. Leonard Williams is one of their best defensive ends who
Mm-hmm.
he can actually get in the pass rush. He can definitely get through there. The Colts, you know, they're rushing their rush pass, their rushing offensive pass rush is better than their passing pass rush, you know, so they can protect better in the rush than they can in the pass.
Right,
And
right.
that's one reason that I definitely think that Carson Wentz has a problem sometimes back there. He can't get as much protection. We'll see
Mm-hmm.
how it is this week when they don't have Pascal again or T.Y. Hilton. Honestly, I see this game a little different. I see this game a little bit lower scoring,
Right.
21-17. But I actually got this one a win by the Jets. Yo, I got this as the upset. The Jets are going to come
Mm.
back out and win two in a row, and they're going to surprise everybody. My man White, they just found their new
Mm.
quarterback for a little bit.
Yeah, at
You know,
that point, they definitely might move on and say this is their new quarterback.
I think they did for a little bit until they get that number one pick. But
Another
maybe not.
quarterback, huh?
Yeah, maybe not this year, but next year, maybe.
Jesus.
See. Depends on
Yeah,
who's in the
no,
free agency.
we'll definitely see. It depends on who definitely is coming out. But no, I definitely think that'll be a decent way to start the week because it might go different than people expect. I think the Jets are going to give them trouble, even if they don't win. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Honestly, the Colts are having a roller coaster of a season. So
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
definitely.
Like you said, and they don't got enough film on that Jets quarterback, so that's why I think that he might surprise them a bit still.
And they just blew a lead too. So I
Mhm.
know they're not feeling too good. But the next primetime game, honestly, shouldn't be anything like that. Rams versus Titans. Obviously, the coaches blew a lead to the Titans, but like you said, they're up. They're without King Henry. This is supposed to be a battle of the best of conferences.
Yeah,
With King Henry in there, that's what it was supposed to be. And basically, if King Henry was in there, it was basically supposed to be our season's version, our mid-season version of a Super Bowl preview.
yep.
Obviously, it's not going to be that. No King Henry. Rams D is being the key. Just picked up Von Miller. Basically, as long as they can hold AJ Brown down, um, Titans, pretty much won't be able to win that game. So this one definitely got it. Now I don't want to say a blowout, but at least close to two touchdowns, man. We got a 30-17 win by the Rams. Your boys win another game. Defense holds it down. Like I said, as long as they keep AJ Brown in check, they have a good day. They have a good night, and come away with the win. What do you think? Who you got? I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be tough for you to choose.
I don't gotta say much in this game, bro. I don't gotta say much. Let me just give some analysis real quick. Yeah, I picked my Rams. I think they're gonna win the game for sure. But I'm gonna give some analysis to why. I think that since we have three really good wide receivers on our offense, um, the Titans they are gonna be able to either protect one of those guys, either Robert Woods or Cup, but not both of them. And Van Jefferson, I think, is gonna be definitely one of the factors. I think he's gonna go over 100 yards. Their third wide receiver. Right now, our running game is actually playing really good. We got Darrell Henderson back there who's been getting around like 70 yards a game, 80 yards a game, and that's all. That's really all we need because obviously Stafford's been averaging around 350 yards passing. So
hmm
that's beautiful. That's what I like to see. Obviously, I definitely would have liked to see Derrick Henry play in this game just because it would have not because it would have been more challenging for the Rams because it would have been like you said a Super Bowl preview supposedly
hmm
best teams in each conference at this point. So it would have been nice to see them at their best. One thing about Titans, they are getting Julio Jones back, so hopefully they're starting to pass to him a little bit more again. I just think that, like I said, I think that our offense is just a little bit more potent right now than their offense.
hmm
Defense just got stronger, like you said. We just picked up my man Von Miller, who's I think is a decent pickup. But I don't know what's going to happen after this season because we got so many guys to pay. We got so many guys on defense, so many guys on offense to pay. So I definitely don't know if this whole team is going to really, blow up after this season, especially if we make the play or if we make the Super Bowl and win it the way it's looking. That's what happens after they win it. Team blows up. But for now, let's
People
just
want their money.
look at it as it is now. Yeah, I mean, we got the players now, and the way they're looking great. So I definitely got my team winning. I think this is going to be 31-17. I think we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. This one.
Yeah, I could definitely see it definitely happening like that. I pretty much got 30-17.
Nice.
So yeah. Um, third primetime game of the week. Definitely because the first two pretty much gonna be one's trash, one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be even kill. No, I'm lying. This is about to be trash too. Bears versus Steelers. Once again, we already talked about the Steelers so long or so much. No identity, can't rely on their defense. Bears not too bad. Justin Fields looked decent, but my man can't get comfortable. He's running for his life out there. The O line is trash. And obviously, I feel like this is another week that the Steelers rely on their defense and find another way to squeeze out a win. So I think it's a one touchdown win. 21-14 Steelers. Going to be a close game, hard fought game. Both teams are going to try to run it. They're going to try to get Justin Fields going. But the Steelers front line ain't no scrub. They will be able to get some pressure on Justin Fields, and as long as they can do that, they can pull away with the win. Not really much to say about that game. Like I said, just Justin Fields just can't get no protection, and we pretty much keep mentioning the Steelers and relying on our defense with no identity on offense. So that's all I pretty much got for that game because it's pretty much should be a Steelers win. What about you? Who do you got? Who you got?
Yeah, that's good analysis right there. Definitely good analysis. I think that one thing you missed about the Steelers, I do think that in this game for sure that James Washington is going to have a huge game. Chicago has one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. They're like the bottom 25th. So uh, it's going to be a big game for James Washington. I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to need to maybe even a lot of screen passes to keep the clock running. And that's what Ben loves to do. One thing about Justin Fields, though, man, he had such an amazing run last week. He had this one crazy run where he spun around like twice and missed like 6 guys and got this touchdown. I so wanted him to come back and win that game because that really would have got his name out there. People would have started to know his name. He wasn't able to do it, but in this game, I actually do think that he's able to scramble around a little bit more, get away from that Pittsburgh pass rush. I
Mm-hmm.
know the Pittsburgh defense has been really good this year. They've been playing, decent, keeping teams pretty low, scoring. I think that Justin Fields, he's going to be able to throw it around a little bit more. And I think for that reason, I actually got Chicago winning this game. I think they're the underdog in this game. They're the underdog by 4 points, but I got them winning. Yeah, I got them winning this one in a close battle again. I mean, Pittsburgh can't score points, but
Wow.
Pittsburgh can't score points. I got this one 20-10. Pittsburgh just can't score points.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a wild analysis. I love it though. I love it though. I'll be honest. I won't even be mad at it. It's crazy because as long as you could just really throw a actual explanation to your analysis, like it all makes sense. Especially with both these lackluster teams, like it really could go either way.
because
One
first,
team can get hot and get going, and
yeah,
like you said, Justin Fields could find a way to get going, get past Pittsburgh defense, or Pittsburgh just ride the defense one more time. It could go both ways.
another thing is Pittsburgh is the worst at tight ends receiving yards. So hopefully, I mean, Justin Fields, he loves to throw into his tight ends. So hopefully he gets that going. That's one thing that's definitely going to help him out.
No, definitely, and he's still growing as a quarterback, and I think he's obviously getting better. I'm glad that they took a chance to actually put him out there because he's doing what he's doing. Definitely looking a lot better than that season preview or that first game, basically. So it's dope to see him grow out there and actually improve as a quarterback. So I definitely think he's gonna have a tough game, but I do think he'll come out with that loss.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it either way too, to be honest. But I just think that he can win this one.
Hey, I hope so, man. Who gives a fuck about Big Ben? Let the young boy start to eat, man. Justin, go ahead, go off.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He needs time to win like that for real, just to get his confidence up. Yeah.
no, for sure, for sure. So those were the three primetime games this week. Obviously, we got a couple more that we wanted to talk about. First one, team without the starting quarterback versus team with the lackluster starting quarterback. What was supposed to be such a good matchup with basically um, Mahomes versus Aaron. Aaron got COVID, unvaccinated, so he's out for the week. So now Love has to step in and face underwhelming Mahomes and a Chiefs team. So not even. So here's my thing: almost against any team, the Chiefs are gonna get that nod. But after what I seen last week, I can't. I really
Wow.
can't.
Wow.
This was the hardest choice all week, trying to find a way to pick the Chiefs to win this game. And at this point, I think just because we know what they can be, we just keep giving them chances. But they are past the point of falling apart. Like at this point, as long as they could rely on that run, Green Bay, and Love play an average game, these motherfuckers might even walk away with a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just because I felt like I just have no idea what to do, what to say, what to think. I'll be honest, man. I went with a 17-10 win. It's going to be rough, but I think the Chiefs can barely only score a touchdown once again. And obviously, as long as the Packers score 2 touchdowns, they win the game.
That's significant because obviously, like everyone thinks of these teams as highest scoring offenses. So that's definitely significant.
Yeah, man, they don't got no Lazard. Love's on his own. Adams might be back. Either way, they're gonna ride the run heavy, and obviously they can do that all over the Chiefs' defense as long as they block right, and as long as Love have an average game. Like I said, I think they can come out with 2 touchdowns, and I think the Chiefs can only get 1.
Yeah.
So for the first time, it's so hard to choose against the Chiefs, but they just come on, man. It's week 9. They just broke even. They barely beat the Giants. How can I pick you to beat the fucking Packers without Aaron? Like, how can I pick you?
I feel you, but I'm gonna pick them.
I hear you.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs just because. First of all, like obviously we haven't seen Justin Love since preseason. He played pretty decent in preseason, but this ain't preseason. He's definitely playing against the number ones now. I don't know what he's gonna do. Like, yeah, we think that he's gonna be amazing. We think he's gonna be the successor, but this is his first game he's starting, and obviously my analysis is totally different if Aaron Rodgers starts. If Aaron Rodgers starts, I got the Packers winning. and honestly, probably not even close. But since right now we're looking at this as him not starting, I think that the Chiefs could win this game. I think that Tyreek Hill needs to have a big game for sure. I definitely think that obviously Mahomes needs to step it up again, have somewhat of a good game, like 250 to 300 yards with 3 touchdowns and no picks, and that should be enough to do it. I think as long as they run the ball, they should be able to do it because, like you said, that's what the Packers are going to do. They're going to utilize their run a lot more just to get Jordan Love steady in the offense and let him pick and choose his spots.
Right.
I just think that KFC is a little bit faster, the faster team on offense right now, especially with the Packers missing two of their greatest wide receiver weapons. I'm not sure if Adams is going to come back, but it doesn't look like it so far. So,
Right.
so it's definitely going to be a little tougher for Justin Love, but not having great weapons out there as well. For that reason, I got KC winning it, and I think it might be a lower scoring game too. Like you said, I think it's going to be 24-21. It's going to be a 3-point game. Come down to the end.
And I can see that happen. Like I said, I really struggled because it's hard to pick against the Chiefs. But at this point, I just felt like I had to shake shit up and just say, you know what? I don't think they're going to win this game this year. I think since the Packers have been doing enough to win on all sides of the ball without Aaron playing spectacular, let's say they do it one more week.
I just can't trust Love since I haven't seen him in so long, and only in the preseason. Yeah.
No, I definitely hear you. So we'll definitely see. And I think that's going to be an exciting game to see, especially the fact that Mahomes is playing so underwhelming and that Love is playing.
Hey, so 3 out of these we got different teams winning.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, the last two are probably gonna pick the same too. I'll tell you that right now. So the next one is another team that's underperforming. It's the Vikings versus Ravens. Vikings are definitely underperforming. Roller coaster of a season. Don't know what they're doing. Ravens also have been on a roller coaster of a season. Vikings actually have the personnel to spy Lamar. But Ravens have to worry about stopping Dalvin Cook. For me, it's another close game, 28-24. Ravens win. I think Vikings just can't get it together. Kirk Cousins is not the answer. Cook will go off, but obviously I think Lamar does just a little better. At this point, the Vikings, honestly, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not looking too great on offense. They're not getting enough yardage, and their defense is not going to be able to fully stop Lamar and do what he needs to be done. So I definitely got the Ravens winning this by 28-24.
That's definitely great analysis. I'm gonna have to agree with you on a lot of your points there. I don't know what the Vikings are really on offense as well. Like they don't know their identity either. You don't know if you can trust Kirk Cousins. I mean, you can't trust them. You've seen all year that you can't trust them. You've seen the last 3 years that you can't really trust them, especially in the big moments. The fact that they lost at home to Dallas in a low-scoring game like that makes me think that they're going to lose big this game, to be honest. I think this might be a blowout for them. I could honestly, I could see this being like a 3-touchdown blowout, somewhere like 38-17. 38-17. I can see this game. Honestly, Dalvin Cook's going to need to play amazing if the Vikings are going to win this game. He's going to need to have close to 150, maybe 180 yards if they're going to want to win this game. I don't see them winning by Kirk Cousins throwing the ball. It doesn't seem like that's the way that they're going to win. The Ravens, what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to start running the ball without just having Lamar Jackson be the number one guy running the ball. They got to trust Bell more. They got to give it back to Murray a little bit more, and try to get those 100 rushing yard games without Lamar Jackson being like the top runner. That's the way that they're going to win. I think that they play a lot faster on offense, though. The Ravens do. They have number one, obviously, pace on offense in the whole NFL. So for that reason, I think that it's going to be a little higher scoring. They're going to come out strong, and they're going to keep that lead. And that's why I got a 38-17.
Nah, I can see it definitely going that way. Obviously, the Ravens have a tendency of, as I said, roller coaster, both of them. They come out there, put up a good fight, blow a decent team out, and then next week come out flat. So
right.
That's
Right.
definitely how both of the teams been. So
They're
I
not
clearly
consistent
see it
either.
going both ways.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're definitely not.
Exactly. But definitely going to be a great game to watch. Obviously, that Sunday, just during the day.
Yep.
But we pretty much got one more game to talk about that we wanted to predict this upcoming week. Definitely been such a common topic on this week. But it's Browns versus Bengals.
Mm.
We keep talking about the Browns. Obviously, uh, Baker Mayfield's back, so he's about to start another game. Um, I personally clear as day, 31-24 Bengals.
Mm.
Like Cleveland's offense look abysmal. Bengals should be able to go off through the air, and pretty much as long as Clowney and Garrett don't get off on that line and make Gerald uncomfortable, the Bengals should be able to walk away with a win. Browns don't know what to do on offense. I'll be surprised if they put up 17 points. So yeah, I'll put 31-24, just for the simple fact that I think I just gonna give the Browns defense a chance to step up, even get a turnover, and put the offense in a better position to score or score themselves. But other than that, it's gonna be a running game for the Browns, a shootout for the Bengals, and I think the Bengals come out on top.
Hmm. Yeah, for me, I was very disappointed in how the Bengals looked last week against the Jets.
Yeah.
Their defense looked pretty bad. Obviously, we talked about the
Mm-hmm.
Jets quarterback, obviously throwing over 400 yards. Do I think that Baker Mayfield can do that? Not really, but I think
No.
he can probably get close to that 300. I think he can get 300, maybe like 280 to 3. He can get around there. Um, if he can get to that, then they should, have a pretty close game. This is a divisional game.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland versus Bengal games, they're always close. If you look at the previous like 12 games,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think 11 out of 12 of them were by 3 points. 11 out of
Mm-hmm.
12 games were decided by 3 points or less. So, they're always close games. And for that reason, I do think this one's going to be close as well. I do agree with you that it's going to be a running game. I think most of the game is going to be based on what Chubb does and based on what Joe Mixon does.
Mm-hmm.
If Garrett comes in and definitely gets a few sacks on Burrows, that's going to definitely help them out a little bit. That's going to help, you know, uh, keep him in check, not have him just stay in the pocket, have him try to move around a little bit more. And he's never shown all season that Joe Burrow can really throw on the run. So if they can actually get him to do that, then they might have a shot at this. And for that reason, I think I got the Browns trying to come back in a revenge game right here and win this big game against a divisional opponent. This is my upset of the week right here, another upset, and I think this is the upset week. This is upset week for sure.
You just
Uh,
picking all the different picks right now, man.
I got this one close, bro. I got this one 21-17, 3-point game,
Okay.
four
Yeah, no,
point
I
game.
definitely think the Bengals come out and sling it out against the Browns. Secondaries look abysmal. Browns offense look abysmal. I definitely think the Bengals got it. But it's crazy. We had a lot of different picks this week.
That's for sure. I mean, yeah, but 4 out of the 6 games we picked differently. So it's
That's
gonna. I do think that this
and
week
I
is gonna.
thought we was gonna have the same pick for these last 2 games. That's what I said about the Bengals and Browns, but nah, apparently not.
I just think because it's a divisional game and they always play tough against each other. They're always playing
Yeah,
close.
they go. Yeah,
Always.
they
I
go.
know, I know the Browns don't seem, good at all like this season, but whenever it's a divisional like that, I could always see it being close. You know.
I definitely hear you.
But that was definitely a good week of football that we talked about, and then a good week
Mhm.
coming up. We had some good questions today that we got through, and
Yeah,
I'm glad we
topics
get to
again
talk about.
spicy.
Yeah, definitely some spicy questions, and we got to talk about some of the top quarterbacks they've been playing, and obviously some of the quarterbacks that haven't looked as well with all the weapons
Mhm.
they've had. So it's definitely been interesting, to
That's a
hear.
fact.
And we want to thank everyone listening. And if you guys want to listen to us, please check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to watch us, watch a full episode, please check us out on Facebook and check out our YouTube page. We're out there. If you guys got any questions, please go ahead and ask us on social media.
Yes, sir. We always love the fan interaction. We want to be there, give you the content that you want. Middle of pretty much fight season, NBA, NFL. We're gonna keep giving you as much content as we can. Let us know what you want. Let us know how we're doing, good or bad. We want to be able to grow our bond with our fans and pretty much grow our fan base as well. So we hope that you enjoy listening, man. We're gonna keep coming.
That's right. Really appreciate you guys listening. We definitely got more to come for you guys. So thank you so much for listening to Who You Got With
Mellow
and Rado. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.